Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we're looking at Flashpoint Fire Rescue by Indie Board and Cards. Did I read that right? Yeah, boards and cards. This is a game of being firemen, rescuing people from burning buildings. So, pretty cool stuff. This is for ages 10 and up. It's 2 to 6 players. It takes about 45 minutes, half an hour to play, depending on how well you do, that sort of thing. And as you can see, it's got some layout. Here you have little burning fire tokens, and you get 6 firefighters. You can buy other ones. There are expansions for this game, but it's got the characters kind of listed here. Let's just look inside the box. That's why you're here. So let's see what we got. I like this game quite a bit. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great all-ages co-op game. And because it is cooperative, there's a lot less complaints and bickering and sore feelings, that sort of thing. Alright, here we've got our rule book. It's got examples of everything that's in the box, so you know what's supposed to be here. Which is really nice to have, honestly. There's pictures of the expansions. There's urban structure. Second story, dangerous waters, extreme danger. There's also a veteran and rescue dog, and honor and duty. The veteran and rescue dog I think are really good. The rescue dog is shockingly good in this game. So yeah, but to win you only have to rescue 7 victims, as it says here. But you lose if you lose too many of them. Or everything burns down, that sort of thing. But the rules are pretty straightforward. It looks more intimidating than it is. And the rule book's only about 11 pages long. It's got descriptions of everything, including all the information that's on the cards. So if you lose the card, you're not completely out of luck. And just basically how to set up the game, how to play it, that sort of thing. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Everything's done in straight lines, no diagonals, at least not normally. So yeah, there's different maps too that you can play, as well as different scenarios. And in each box you get different guys. Like there's a hazmat guy in the extreme danger one, and he can remove like exploding propane tanks, that sort of thing. So yeah, so let's see what we've got here. Here are our tokens. Get the rule book out of the way. Let's just take everything out of the box and we'll go over it bit by bit. Alright, so these are our tokens. There's the fire tokens. These are the what are they called? Let me check the rule book. I forget what they're called. They're like the hot point. Hotspots. Hotspots. And these are point of interest markers. Basically, these are what you have to go to because they could be people, they could be propane tanks, like these, which are flammable, or they could be nothing. So when you rescue one and get it out to the ambulance, when a person, another point of interest pops up, and like I said, it could be nothing, could be a person you have to save, and you have to save 7 people. So these are doors. This represents a closed door. These are, like I said, the propane tanks and other flammable materials. This is a heal. These are movement tokens or action points, and that's the ambulance. On the back of these, there's the fire truck. This is the same. These are the same. These are open doors now. And these are the same. That's a heel. And there's a kitten, a puppy, a woman with dark hair, and a woman with red hair, and 2 nothings. And these are smokes. Basically, the smokes are usually the stage first that comes before the fire. If you end up placing a smoke on a hot spot, it usually turns into flame. And if one of these turns into flame the next square over, if it's a smoke, that could catch into flame too. Alright, this one, same sort of thing. Another ambulance, more fire tokens, more points of interest. On the back, we got a fire truck. We got some more people. And some more smoke, doors, that sort of thing. Then we've got a third sheet, same thing on it, but different people. So, yep. Let's get those out of our way. Here is the game board. It is two-sided. And this is really nice quality board too. So see these numbers here, these dice symbols? The dice are where you're going to set things up. Like if you, for your setup stage, if you roll like a 1-6, that the 1 would be the D8 and the 6 would be the red D6. So on your D8 you got a 1 and you get a 6 on your D6, you'd put a token here. And it even tells you that the fire spreads which direction. There's arrows here to tell you which way it will go. These symbols here are doors or walls that will be blown out. This is obviously a door. If the fire spreads too far, too fast, it can blow the wall out, create structural damage, that sort of thing. So the map is pretty cool. It's really well done. This blue square here is where an ambulance can go, and this yellowish orange thing is where the fire truck goes. Let's see, we got the picture of the fire truck. So yeah, so you could go to those locations. You can move the vehicles around the board to different locations because there might be different entry points for the building. Like this one has 2. There's a door here and a door here. But the walls could get damaged too, and if you're using a guy that has like the water pump on the truck, you can move it to different locations and spray, which is pretty cool. Alright, the other side is a different map. So you get 2 maps right away, which is nice. And you get more maps in the other ones. There's one with a submarine, one with a chemical plant. There's the second story one that has an upstairs for the buildings. And you'll have to run upstairs. There'll be a marker you can put on here for the stairs. And the boards that come with it will have printed staircases on them. So yeah, it's a pretty cool map, real high quality. I'm actually really impressed with that. Then here we've got our dice. We got a D6 and a D8. And then we have a bunch of black cubes that are representative of structural damage. And basically you put these on the map to represent where a wall is giving way. They can be repaired by certain characters. So 2 of them means the wall is destroyed, 1 means it's damaged. Now if you're playing with the rescue dog, the dog can squeeze through a wall that's damaged. He can't go into flames, but so if you're playing with him, he can actually use those as doorways. And he's pretty cool, so I recommend getting that set if you're going to buy this game because that dog is a lot of fun to play. Alright, then we have our characters here. Let's open these up and get these out. You can use the scissors. If you're irresponsible or young, don't use scissors without permission from a responsible adult. You can't just give yourself permission or ask your drunk uncle. That doesn't work. This is a great game for young players because it is cooperative and it's a team building kind of game. But each of these are color coded, obviously. There are some that have all brown characters. The Kickstarter one, I think, had that, and they had little plastic things you could put on the bottom to represent your color. So be aware that there are some variations to this, but this is the current one, and it's nice to have color-coded characters so you know who you are. Alright, let's look at our fire rescue cards here, see what we got. Alright, so this is just a blue one, because you're the blue player. There's a green one, because you're the green player. Here's a yellow one, because you're the yellow player. Red one, for the red player. A white one, because guess what, you're the white character. Yellow one, for the yellow player. Or orange, I guess the one was. Whatever. Colors are hard. So you just give these to the person who's this color. If you're yellow, you get the yellow one, etc. So pretty common sense. If the kids are old enough, you don't really need those. you're playing with adults, hopefully you don't need those. And these are your character class cards. And it's also got turn order cards in there, which are real handy. Sometimes you forget the different actions you can take. Especially if you're playing with younger players, it's real handy to have those. Alright, here's your turn order card. It's got your different actions listed. For example, move is 1 action point, move through fire is 2 action points, move with a victim or hazmat, 2 action points. Moves are to any adjacent space. You can't go diagonally, as I recall. Opening and closing a door is 1 action point. Extinguish smoke is 1 action point. Extinguish fire to turn it to smoke is 1 point. To extinguish the fire completely is 2 points. Extinguish the space you're in or an adjacent space. If you want to chop down the wall, it's 2 points. If you want to drive the car, it's 2 points. Ride along is free. The crew change, if you want to switch character, that's 2 points. Fire the deck gun, that's 4 points, but it's pretty cool. You put a lot of fire out that way. Adjacent spaces are up, down, left, or right. Closed doors and walls prevent spaces from being adjacent unless they are destroyed. A wall segment with 2 damage markers is destroyed. A wall segment with 1 damage marker is damaged. Now on the back is the turn order, so you know who goes when. It's a pretty straightforward game. Alright, so these are our character cards. The first one is the Generalist. He gets 5 action points. No special rules. Then we've got the Rescue Specialist, who has 4 action points, 3 free movement action points, and can chop for 1 action point. The Rescue Specialist pays double action points to extinguish fire or smoke. Free movement points cannot be saved. Basically, the job of this character is to go in and get people and get them out. Here's another turn order card. Then we have the Fire Captain, 4 action points. 2 free command points. Command, on your turn you may spend action points to move other players. Action points spent this way are at the normal movement cost to the player being moved. Free command points cannot be saved. So basically this one lets you move someone else 2 spots or do 2 points. So maybe they put out a fire or they move or grab somebody or something like that. Next we have the Paramedic, who has 4 action points. Treat is 1 action point. You place a heal marker beneath a victim in your space. Treated victims may move with a firefighter without being carried. Paramedic pays double action points cost to extinguish fire and smoke. So they're real handy if you're getting someone out and you need to move faster. The paramedic can have them move with you instead of dragging you down and making you spend all those points to move. Another turn sequence card. That's 3. Next we have the Driver Operator. 4 action points. Fire the deck gun is only 2 action points for this one. When you fire the deck gun, you may re-roll either or both dice once each to improve your result. You must accept the second result. So it really helps to put out a lot of fire really quick with the deck gun. So this one's pretty useful. And like I said, you can switch out your character. So you just run them out to the fire truck and pay 2 points and switch them out to a different character. Next we have the Imaging Technician. 4 action points. Identify is 1 action point. Reveal, flip over an unidentified point of interest anywhere on the board. which will really save you a lot of time because usually you got to run up next to them and then flip them over. This one lets you do it anywhere on the board. It's only one action point, and he's got 4. There's another turn sequence card. That's 4. It's pretty handy to have 4 of those in a 4 to 6 player game. Everybody can share. Next we have the CAFS Firefighter. Gets 3 action points, but also has 3 free extinguish action points. You can't save him, but he gets to put out some fire or smoke, or turn the fire into smoke, depending on what combination you want to do. But he has 3 action points just for that, and 3 regular action points. And lastly, we have the Hazmat Technician. Dispose is 2 action points, lets you remove one of the Hazmat tokens of your choice in your space, rather, from the game. So if you're around a bunch of hazardous material, you can run in and get rid of them for 2 points, and they don't explode and cause more fire. So, but he has 4 action points, so that's pretty good. So that's the character cards, and that's pretty much everything in the box, except for the worthless cardboard insert. So that's Flashpoint Fire Rescue. I really like this game. I think it's a great game for younger players, and it's a lot of fun to play co-op. It's kind of what we used to call beer and pretzels game. Not real complicated, real easy to play. And with this one, you can get the kids in. If they want to play a board game, it's a nice variation. It's not the same old with, chutes and ladders or other boring things that you're not going to find fun but are forced to play. And they're not old enough to play Risk yet, or they just, aren't ready for that sort of game. This is one that is pretty easy to understand and pretty enjoyable by even non-gamers and younger players. So that's Flashpoint Fire Rescue. This one's usually under 30 bucks. I think I paid 20 for this. It's worth the money, I think. I think you get a lot of replay value, especially when the average game only goes 30 to 45 minutes. So, and you can play it 6 player. Like I said, it's ages 10 and up. It's by Indie Boards and Cards, and it's a good investment for a nice all-around game that anyone can pick up and play without a lot of instruction or knowledge of modern gaming and board gaming. So that'll do it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time on What's Inside.